Hey guys, Sean from Bantam Overland. Today we are super excited to introduce Garmin to the Bantam Overland family. Having a dash cam in your Jeep will give you peace of mind both on the road and when you're not near your vehicle. Let's go over some of the Garmin dash cams that we offer here at Bantam Overland. First is the Mini 2, 140 degree field of view, 1080p. Now this one has no screen. Next we have the 47, which is also 140 degree viewing angle as well as 1080p HD video. Next we have the 57, also has 140 degree viewing angle, but now you jump up to 1440p. Next we have the 67W. That'll jump up to 180 degree viewing angle, as well as a 1440 HD video. Next is the Tandem, again, 180 degree viewing angle, two cameras, both forward facing and interior facing, as well as night vision at 720p. Finally, we have the Garmin Live, 140 degree viewing angle, LTE, so you'll be able to get video anywhere in the world that you have cellular service. It's always accessible by the Garmin Drive app, and this one is 1440p HD video. When you purchase any of these Garmin dash cams from us at Bantam Overland, they will always come with a cigarette lighter plug, two USB ports, and one extra mount. You can also purchase the Garmin constant power adapter, which will give you the ability to have your dash cam on at your choosing, whether it's 10 minutes, 24 hours, or infinitely. Today I'm going to show you how to install any of these Garmin dash cams in your 18.5 to 23 Jeep JL or Jeep JT Gladiator. We're going to be installing the Mini 2 into our 23 JL 4xe, along with the Garmin constant power adapter, but I'm also going to show you how to install it with the included accessories. So now that we've had a brief overview of the dash cams, we can go ahead and go over what tools we're going to need to get the installation done. So this is a relatively straightforward install, but we're still going to need to take some stuff apart. So we're going to need some tools. First, a impact gun or socket wrench, some wire ties, a panel tool, a pair of dikes or cutters to cut those wire ties, and a 10mm socket. So we're mainly going to be working behind the mirror and on the driver's side of the vehicle. So we're going to do the Mini 2 in the Jeep, as well as the Garmin constant power adapter. So let's open up the box, see what's inside. So first, we have our dash cam, very small. Owner's manuals and instruction manuals. We have our cigarette lighter adapter. We have a long USB, a mount, a smaller USB, and a second mount, so just in case. So that's what's included in the Mini 2 box. The Garmin power adapter will just be the power adapter that will plug into your OBD2. Gives you two USBs, and if you notice here, you'll have a switch with 3 positions, whether it's 10 minutes, 24 hours, or an infinite position, which will keep it on constant. We also have a instruction manual for the constant power adapter. So now that we've had the what's in the box, let's get to the Jeep and start the disassembly. So before we get started with the disassembly portion of our Jeep, we kind of want to get a layout of where we're going to put our dash cam, how we're going to run it, and which way we're going to run it, whether it be using the cigarette lighter plug or using the Garmin constant power adapter. So in this Jeep, I'm going to put my Mini 2 right behind the rear view mirror on the windshield. I'm going to go ahead and get my wire run across the top of the windshield. We're going to remove both the A-pillar handle and the speaker grill, as well as this side panel here we'll remove to get down to our OBD2 that is just underneath the driver's side speaker. If we were to be running it and using the cigarette lighter adapter, we would then take it, go across the bottom part of the dash, underneath the carpet, and then right into our 12-volt cigarette lighter plug here on the dash. So let's start with getting our dash cam mounted to the windshield, getting our A-pillar and our speaker grill, as well as our side dash panel off and out of the way, and then we can get the wire run. So first thing I like to do is actually get my camera mounted before I start doing anything else. So you're going to want to grab one of the two mounts that's included inside the Garmin Mini box. Press that in. Now you can move that around and adjust it as you please. So before you remove the protective covering, you're going to want to kind of get it up there, see exactly where you want to mount it. Get that all adjusted so that looks about where I want to have it. So now I can remove the covering and then get it right where I want it. So get it stuck up there. And just firmly press. You don't want to press too hard, but just get it in there and you'll be able to adjust it as needed. So now our camera's mounted. We can then move on to our power cable. So we're going to use the longer of the two power cables in this particular install. It's pretty long. So we're going to have the smaller USB side that will actually plug into the right side of the dash cam. And like I said, we're going to go up and then all the way down. But before we start running our wire, we're actually going to get the couple of panels removed that we need to remove to run it. So let's get that done now. We're going to need a panel tool of some sort, as well as our 10mm socket or impact gun. So first thing we want to do is actually remove the driver's side top speaker grill. Just gently place your panel tool underneath and just pry up and pull up and remove. From there, we're going to want to pop these two covers off to reveal a 10mm bolt. So again, gently just pop out and slide around. Same with the bottom. Now, if you're using a regular handheld socket, go ahead and remove it. I'm using an impact gun, so I'm going to want to get my steering wheel kind of out of the way. And then we'll just gently put our gun in there. Remove that 10mm. Then remove that 10mm. Stick that in a safe place for later. Now, removing this handle is not the easiest, but you just got to kind of wiggle and pull and it will release. You'll notice inside there's a little plastic retainer as well as a locating pin. You'll want to make sure that's lined back up when you put it back in. So we got that out. And then finally, we would need to remove the side panel off the side of the dash. Same thing with your panel tool. Gently get underneath of it and just gently pop it off. And then remove out of the vehicle. So now that speaker cover is out, grab handle is out, as well as the side dash cover is out, we can begin to run our USB power wire across the windshield and all the way down just into this area. I'm actually going to pop off the door harness trim at the lower part just to give me a little more room, just pulling straight out. And then it's got a little connector to let that hang there. So now that everything's apart, we can go ahead, get our wire run, get some wire ties here to keep it away from our two 10mm bolts. You don't want to screw into that power harness. And then we're going to run it behind the plastic here and all the way down into this area because our OBD2 is right down here. Starting with the smaller USB side, get that plugged in, making sure it's all the way in. So we're going to kind of get our wire stretched out. Now, me personally, I like to kind of get it behind something so it's out of my way. So kind of just get it up there for now. And then all you're going to do is just gently pull and tuck the wire behind the plastic, making sure that you don't see any of it. So now we're all the way down. So now I have my wire. We're going to go ahead and put some wire ties on it. Again, just to keep it away from any bolts. So that's where our wire ties will come in. Go ahead and get those wire tied out of the way. I'm actually going to put it on the opposite side, so more on the driver's side of that harness. Tuck it back behind this plug. So now we have it wire tied down here. Go ahead and tuck it behind that plastic piece. So now that will stay nice and neat in here. We won't hit it with any of the bolts when we put our A-pillar grab handle back in. So we can go ahead, trim off any excess of the wire tie. So continuing to run down into the lower portion of the dash. Now you're gonna have a lot of extra. So if you're using your cigarette lighter adapter, you can continue to run straight across here and then pop the carpet down here. And then you'll come up and just plug it right into the cigarette lighter adapter. We are going to be using the constant power adapter. So we're going to grab our USB-A side, plug it into one of the two USBs that are on there. And then I'm also going to go ahead and check now, make sure I'm going to put my switch on 24 hours. I'm never really away from the Jeep for more than 24 hours. So I'm going to keep that there. And then we're going to go ahead and get it plugged in to our OBD2. So if you're doing the install with the included cigarette lighter accessories, I'm going to show you how to do that now. So what we're going to do is once we get our wire back behind the corner, we're going to run it along this metal rail and behind the carpet. So you're going to want to pop off that to reveal the open space. We're going to take our USB and just run it along here. So pull any extra tight. So here's where you're going to wire tie them to, just going down the line. So once you're over here, you can go ahead and get it behind the center console. Take your cigarette lighter plug, plug it in to your 12-volt power adapter on the dash. Now here is where everybody's going to be a little bit different with how they want to run their wiring. So you can run it down along, wire tie the excess wire, and put it behind your carpet. Again, I'm not going to wire tie it, so I'm just kind of showing you. You'll be able to, get that buried behind there, and then run your cable nice and neat up along. But what I do want to show you is what the dash cam is going to look like when you turn the vehicle on. So once you turn the vehicle on, you'll notice a light illuminate on the dash cam, and then you know it's working. So there are some setup steps that we'll go over once the install is completed with the constant power adapter. So let's go ahead and complete the installation of our Garmin constant power adapter and our dash cam. So taking your USB power wire, we're going to go ahead and just run it behind the vehicle side of the door harness, pulling that the whole way through. So now that that's in there, we're going to go ahead, grab one of our wire ties and just wire tie that harness. So we're just doing that so the wire stays complete and taut. Cut that off. So we have our constant power adapter. We can go ahead and plug it directly into our OBD2. We'll notice a red light on the power adapter. That means it's active. We can then take our USB, plug it into one of the two outlets. We're gonna just double check and look at our Mini 2, make sure it comes on, which it did. So at this point, we can take any of our excess wire and wire tie that all up nice and neat. So we'll just kind of fold it back on itself until we're all done. So we got that. So leaving a little bit to hide, so we'll have it look something like this. So we'll grab a wire tie here, make sure that's nice and tight, and if you want to plug a secondary item into that USB, you can go ahead and do that. So now we have it bundled up. Go ahead and cut the excess wire tie. So from here, we're going to go ahead and put it just behind our kick panel, and you can just set it in there. Just making sure we get all of any excess wire behind there. Just make sure you're not in the way of your door harness or anything. Again, you want to double check, make sure you're on the appropriate amount of time, whether it be 10 minutes, 24 hours, or infinite. So from there, go ahead and put your side panel back on and click that in. So now that we got our dash camera all installed, we can go ahead and put our vehicle back together, and then we can go over some of the steps we need to take to sync our new Garmin dash cam to our phone. To reassemble our Jeep, we're going to go in reverse order, starting with this panel, then the A-pillar handle, then our speaker grill. Just pushing until it all clicks in. Now our A-pillar handle, want to make sure that this is the portion that you put down. So it does take a little bit of wiggling, and you want to make sure that you get it, that locating pin and the clip to go in and push it. So now it's in there. We can go ahead and put the two 10mm bolts back in. And then we can push our cover back in. And then we can put the bottom 10mm bolt back in. So now our grab handle is nice and tight. Go ahead and get that cover clicked back on. Now as far as our grill, it'll go in like this with these two locator pins towards the inside. Just line it up, push it down in all four corners, and your vehicle's back together. So now our installation is complete. Our Jeep is put back together. We have our red light at our Garmin constant power adapter, as well as we have our red light on our Garmin Mini 2. So we're going to get out our instruction manual Just to go over everything, so we have it wired, it's plugged in. So next we need to format the SD card. Now this pertains strictly to the Mini 2, but we're going to go ahead and format that SD card. So we're going to hold this side microphone button for about 8 seconds. Once you finish holding that button for about 8 seconds, you should get a flashing green light and then move to a flashing red light. So now you can go ahead and download the app from either the Apple Store or the Google Play Store. It is the Garmin Drive app. So I already have it because I have a Live in my other vehicle. So we're going to go ahead, tap the Garmin Drive app. So we'll get in there. Now, normally it'll say add device. This one will say add another device. So I'll tap add another device, tap Garmin dash cam series, and it is currently going to look for the dash cam. So now that our app has found the Mini 2, it's asking us to hold down the save button until it flashes blue. The save button is the bigger button right in the middle, so we're going to go ahead and hold that until it starts to flash blue. So now we're flashing blue, and it is asking to pair. Now it is connecting. It says it may take up to a minute to do. Oh, and it's already done. So now the DC Mini 2 has shown up as the accessory. Go ahead and select it. Make sure you read any of the personal data stuff. And now they're setting up the camera. So we'll go ahead and add a vehicle. So now we can go to our DC Mini 2, and now it's in our Garmin app. So you hit live view. So there is our live view of our Mini 2. So we can click out of there. So now that the installation and setup is complete for our Garmin Mini 2, we can sleep better at night knowing our Jeep is protected, whether at home or on the road. For more information on any of these awesome Garmin dash cams, please visit us at bantamoverland.com. Like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and as always, have a blast out there.